Welcome to Mostly True Stories with Dr. Juan Harrison, a series of feel-good, faith-based short stories from a Texan's perspective. Now here's Dr. Juan Harrison with today's story. Please enjoy.
Hank Williams Jr., or Bocephus, sang a song, "A Country Boy Can Survive." It brought back memories of an unforgettable early years on East Texas farms. The water came from a concrete cistern and later a rain tank. The light was provided by 2 kerosene lamps with sooty globes. A little upside-down tank of kerosene behind the stove dribbled fuel for cooking. A wood stove heated the 2-room shack. The iceman made deliveries twice a week for the wooden icebox. Wet tow sacks kept the milk cans cool until Carnation Milk picked them up early each morning. Several years later, REA added electricity, but plumbing was still a ways off. As Joe Friday used to say, "Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts." Those are the facts, but those aren't the memories. Hours on end were spent on my discarded broom with binder twine reins. Old Paint and I roamed the farm, cap gun in hand, loaded with caps for sound effects if I had any. We often ended up in our gully where I faced the Dalton gang and fended off Indian attacks. Our drink of choice was branch water without bourbon. I ate wild berries and persimmons. Muscadines with their thin skins replaced grapes, and hickory nuts picked out with bobby pins made delicious cookies. Sourdough and sheep showers were good to chew, albeit a little tart. There was something peaceful about those days. I remember lying underneath the ironing board while Mama ironed and called out my spelling words. If I listened hard, I might hear Murray Cox giving the farm report on KRLD radio. If he didn't say it, it wasn't so. In the evenings, we were visited by the Lone Ranger, the Cisco Kid, Sergeant Preston of the Yukon, Jack Benny, Fibber McGee and Molly, and the Great Gildersleeve. The smell of parched peanuts or sweet potatoes baking right out of the field, smothered in butter, sloshed back and forth in a jug until your arms almost fell off. Who needed dessert? I wish we had a churn back then. Homemade cornbread in canning jars of cold milk, recently from the cows, standard fare for Sunday night supper after stuffing ourselves at Sunday lunch on one of our fat chickens, especially if we had company coming. In that case, I probably ended up with the neck. Speaking of necks, I gained a whole new appreciation for Mama's frequent phrase, "I'm going to wring your neck." I gained a new admiration for the poor chicken who gave its all for Sunday company. At school, I saw my classmates playing with authentic motor graders and John Deere tractors under the cedar tree outside the cafeteria after lunch. Yes, I was envious, but in reality, I enjoyed my blocks of scrap lumber and foot-long bridge nails that my dad got from building bridges. Sometimes, farmers had to take extra work during the lean times. I spent hours building multi-level structures and supervising knockdown, drag-out fights between my bridge nail wrestlers all the way from the Sportatorium in Fort Worth as Bill Mercer whooped up the crowd. That might explain all those enjoyable summers in high school and college doing construction. Thankfully, the wrestling fixation went away. The good thing about being a kid is that everything is relative. My best friend and neighbor down the road didn't have a lot more than I did. We tramped over each other's fields and woods with BB guns and a single-shot .22. Skinny dipping in our muddy creek with snakes and crawdads and snapping turtles was an adventure, especially if you survived with all your body parts intact. The stuff that we did due to lack of good sense. Oh, but the fun we had. John Denver used to sing, "Well, I wouldn't trade my life for diamonds or jewels. I never was one of them money-hungry fools. Thank God I'm a country boy." Amen to that, John. This is Dr. Juan Harrison, and this has been a selection from my series, The Mostly True Stories of Dr. Juan Harrison. Find me on Facebook and my books on Amazon.com.